Craig, you kind of said a lot of times day one in these things is kind of a feeling out. You're here, day one. Is that what's going on so far?
Yeah. A lot of conversations in this room with our internal group, just trying to prioritize, strategize, but also conversations with other teams, with agents, just trying to get a sense for where the market might go.
Some years you try to get started here. In this case, you've already made a couple of deals. You've added pitching depth, obviously. Sonny Gray, Oviedo that you got just before coming down here. Talk about that depth and the rotation, how you feel about that rotation right now after those two deals.
Sure, we feel like we've accumulated depth. There's no such thing as too much starting pitching, but I think we're in a position to where if some of that depth allows us to address needs in other spots on the roster, we'd be willing to talk about that. But as we saw last year, the year before, not having enough pitching can be destabilizing to a team, and so we set out to try and amass, not just depth, but guys that we feel like can win us meaningful games.
I know you've said that you'll always add. You never have enough pitching, especially. But do you feel comfortable with the rotation as it is right now? If you were going into camp, would you feel good with the major league rotation where it is?
Yeah, it's true that we can feel good with the rotation where it is, and also still attempt to identify meaningful upgrades, and I think that's where we are.
You've talked about adding that bat that could make a difference in the middle of this lineup. How is that looking right now? How's the market sort of coming together on the offensive side?
Yeah, I think as we've seen, it's generally been slow to materialize, but we're having conversations with other teams, and agents, and still recognize that there's at this point some work to be done in terms of rounding out the roster on the position player side and finding that middle of the order bat that can really kind of change the profile of our offense.
There were reports that Pete Alonso would be here meeting with teams. I know you said you weren't going to get into specifics about meetings, but you came here as a player. What is the value of that face-to-face discussion as opposed to a Zoom or going through an agent or whatever? What's it mean to be able to have a meeting with somebody here?
Yeah, I think there's something more sincere, more authentic about being able to have a conversation face-to-face in real time that maybe doesn't come out over a phone call or a Zoom. And so I can remember coming here as a player. I didn't have the fortune of meeting with too many teams. Apparently they had other priorities, but those that I did meet with, I was grateful for that chance.
Plus, you finally, last year was kind of the Juan Soto log jam, right? And that broke, and then things started moving. I don't know if there's one player like that this year, but it does kind of feel like there's a lot of waiting right now for a move to be made. Is that often the way this goes? Once a move is made, other moves start to happen more quickly?
It seems like it. There seems as though there are a handful of kind of key free agents, who will, of course, eventually sign, and then from there are others who draft off those markets. Which isn't to say that there may not be an opportunity to just identify someone, go after them aggressively, and bring them in. But typically there's kind of a sequence to how these things play out.
Awesome. Thank you.
You got it.